This is CBS 42's Inside College Football, sponsored by Pepsi.
The granddaddy of them all. Take a look at the Rose Bowl. It's about 2,000 miles away from Birmingham, Alabama. I can say that with personal experience by way of vehicle as we get ready for the Auburn Tigers, and the Auburn Tiger fans have definitely made an appearance here in Southern California.
Now, Patrick, you didn't have the opportunity to ride in a nice big RV like some of these other fans who traveled from east to west for the big game on January 6th. Nice cross-country road trip in the RVs. That might be the way to go next time. These fans thought so. And this group here from Hoover, Alabama.
And check this out, folks. We did not take one of these. We're here in Newport Beach, California. A look at the marina as the sun sets as we get ready for the 2013 BCS National Championship game. With that, welcome into a special edition of Inside College Football. Patrick Claiborne, Lauren Sisler getting ready for the big game.
The big game. We are excited about this. And today, finally, the media day, the media opportunity where we got to get an inside look with all of the players. It wasn't just a limited amount.
Yeah,
it was all access for a full hour. They even sounded the horn when the hour was over. Now, Florida State starting the morning off, Auburn followed, and lots of cutting up, taking it all in, all the players experiencing this, trying to have a little bit of fun. But this trip is all business. Both head coaches reflect on what got them here to the big stage.
When we first got there, we said, we're not going to worry about anything that happened last year. Whose fault? I told our coaches, don't even watch game film. We don't know what the situations were. Everybody's got a fresh start. And I just said the bar's going to be high, and we're going to try to get our edge back. Auburn's known for that physical, hard-nosed, blue-collar mentality, and we had to get that back, and our guys have done that.
It's paid off for us in what we've done. But, like I say, we expect the expectations. We expect to be here. And I truly believe this. I don't think we played our best football game. I really don't. I think our best football game is still out there, and hopefully it'll come on Monday night. And I've liked the way we practiced. I like the way we've prepared. I think we're in a great mental state of mind. I think we're very healthy physically, and we're looking forward to Monday night.
And Jimbo Fisher saying that. Gus Malzahn's been saying that all year, that this team has not yet arrived.
And so we get a chance. We heard it from Coach Malzahn, and he said it for a long time. They're not thinking about 3-9, but when you look at one of the best players on the team, one of the best players in the country, Trey Mason, how he felt about this season. 3-9, folks, it doesn't do anything for you except when you're working towards something like today. Every rep you do in the weight room, every time you run in the offseason, that 3-9 record from a year ago, it helps push you just a little bit, and that's what the Heisman Trophy finalist told Lauren Sisler earlier today.
I just had a strong feeling in the inside, and how we worked in the offseason. And being 3-9, I don't think we wanted to feel that. Anybody wanted to feel that again. So we were fueled by doubt all season long. We took it one game at a time, one practice at a time, a day at a time. And, we fought together. And being fueled by doubt is the big thing that got us to this point, and me realizing that we had a chance.
And so Trey Mason, fueled by doubt, a lot of folks fueled by different means in order to get here to Pasadena. We, of course, had our different experiences, but the fans have finally been able to make it here, at least a lot of them. We hope everybody's able to get it.
Yeah, I know it's been tough to travel with all the weather issues going on up north and the connections, a lot of things canceled. I got to ask you, how many hours did it take you and Al to get here?
It took about 29. Me and Al, we spreaded it out a little bit and alternated driving, 29 hours. It was worth every minute.
Yeah, and fortunately, there's a lot of folks that decided to hop in their RVs, which is probably the way to go in luxury when you can kind of cruise down the road, kick back a little bit, kind of like first class seating, on an airplane. But for 29 hours, hey, that's the way to go. These fans hit the road and, in comfort and luxury, and they had the opportunity to sightsee, kind of see the land and enjoy every moment.
Actually, it was pretty good. We Interstate 10 all the way, and, some beautiful scenery, some country we'd seen it before, but kind of renewed our recognition of it, and went out through the desert from about Dallas this way, but of course we're in the southeast, so it's trees and green fields east of Dallas.
And let me tell you what, it takes 3 days to get across Texas, irregardless of how you cut it.
3 days to get across Texas. What about you? Did that take you guys?
We sliced it a little differently the day that we decided to skip Texas for a little bit and go over the top. Folks, when we come back, we've got more here on Inside College Football, especially looking at the different routes like air travel, how that's been a headache for a lot of people. As folks, we're taking another look, this time at the palm trees in Newport Beach, California. We'll be back as Inside College Football continues from the West Coast.
Guys, I'm here live with
Folks, it was a celebration December in the Georgia Dome. The Auburn Tigers beat the Missouri Tigers in a score fest. They had 700 yards of total offense, and that's what booked their trip here to Pasadena.
And a lot of people questioning whether Florida State has been tested this season. They're the most untested team to play in the BCS championship game in the last decade. Their strength of schedule, 66th in 2006 and 2007 Ohio State, and in 2009 Texas. All of those had strength of schedules over 50 and all lost to SEC teams by double digits. And welcome back to Inside College Football, your BCS special edition. And when you look at Auburn's offense, they've really had a lot of success this year, but how do you defend against that?
And that's the question. Jeremy Pruitt, a disciple of Nick Saban, he said that the only thing that would get him out of the University of Alabama was his relationship with Jimbo Fisher. Now he's the defensive coordinator at Florida State, and he said he learned a lot from watching the film against Alabama and the way that Auburn operates and the way they get you in situations you don't want to be. He broke down the most important things about playing Auburn earlier today.
They're going to go fast once they make big plays, and everybody knows that. That's who they are. That's what they do, and you got to stop them. But big thing is, I think you got to get lined up. You got to get lined up. You got to make them earn it, and that's one thing we're going to focus on.
Yeah, and one can imagine this will be a bittersweet game for the receivers coach Damian Craig, who returned to his alma mater after spending some time there at Florida State. He really developed a relationship with Jameis Winston, who it kind of dates back to him in high school back in his sophomore year. Now, Craig, he went from one national championship contending team to another and couldn't be more thrilled for this opportunity.
Sometimes you just, you have to make tough decisions, and it was a hard decision. But it was a lot of factors that went into this decision. You just don't wake up and make a decision like this. It's just a blessing to have an opportunity to come back to Auburn University.
Damian Craig, they're obviously a lovable guy. The guys going up and hugging him would not leave him alone today.
Yeah, and we see that as he was talking about the relationships and what brought him back to Auburn, he gets an embrace from his players, and that gets him to, you can actually see the way that those guys feel about Damian Craig. Folks, we could talk about how we feel about the Auburn run game. The whole country feels a certain way about the Auburn run game. Missouri would have actually finished in the top 20 in run defense if they had not played Auburn. They've plowed over everybody, and it all starts up front with that offensive line. Jim Dunaway on the Tigers offensive line and what they mean to this title contender.
Well, thanks, guys. Talking to the Florida State coaches, you learn how impressed they are with some Auburn personnel, specifically on the Auburn offensive line, and specifically at left tackle in Greg Robinson. Some are calling him the best left tackle in college football.
Really, I was wondering when it was going to come, because all the hard work I was putting in, I just was ready for it to pay off. But a lot of the attention I've been getting is you know what I'm saying, it feels good, but it's not that all I want, you know what I'm saying? Like, even if I go to the NFL, that won't be my dream. Like, really, my dream is to play in the NFL for maybe 10 years, if God willing.
I think if you turn on the film, you'll see we're going to bring it right at you. And, we're running zone schemes and gap schemes. Same thing we ran in tight bunches last year. We'll spread you out, but we're going to run it right down your throat.
The Auburn run game has been so dominant, I believe that if you offered the Florida State coaches 296 rushing yards for Auburn, like they had against Alabama, they would take that right now and cash their chips out. Guys?
Thanks, Jim. They certainly would, and it all starts with their explosive quarterback, Nick Marshall, and the way that this run game, ever since Texas A&M, has just dominated every game.
Yeah, Nick Marshall has been a real catalyst for this team this season, but you look at him, and there's a lot of heroics that go on behind closed doors, but there's a lot more to this junior quarterback than that. If you watch some video of him, he's rushed for over almost 1,100 yards, 11 touchdowns. He's passed for 12 touchdowns. He's that dual threat quarterback. He has drawn a lot of comparisons there to Cam Newton back in 2010. He can run the ball and he can throw the ball. Now he's leading the team to a national championship, and players have a huge respect for him both on and off the field.
Coach Malzahn and Coach Lassie gave me a second chance to come back in the SEC to play football. It's just something that we're having at Georgia. I just try not to think about it. It's just something I put behind me, and then just thank the man and boy that I got a second chance to play college football again.
He's a very dynamic quarterback, and running-wise, I think that guys have a hard time tackling him. because he's kind of slippery type guy.
And when you look at Nick Marshall, where he was just over a year ago, bouncing around, and again, he said it there, you never thought he was going to get back to the SEC and play this caliber of football again.
Now he's got a chance to play for a championship. Another guy who has a chance to play for a title, Casanova McKenzie, Woodlawn's own star linebacker, starting now for the Tigers. We'll hear from him in just a bit. Folks, we're live in Newport Beach, California. You get a look at the state flag. It's got a bear on it. Jack Nicklaus, the Golden Bear, his grandson, plays for Florida State. Everybody's got a chance to see the beautiful sights in Southern California. More ICF when we come back. Welcome back here on Inside College Football. The Galley Cafe in Newport Beach. They've been really nice to us. Myself and Jim had a chance to get some delicious milkshakes. I wouldn't advise having multiple ones in 1 week because if you have to fly back like Lauren does, you may not fit into your seat. Welcome back to Inside College Football. Patrick Claiborne, Lauren Sisler. We had a chance to talk to the Heisman Trophy winner, a guy that we were fortunate enough to watch play in high school.
Yeah, and Jameis Winston, a guy that he's hoping to celebrate a national championship victory, but he's also celebrating his 20th birthday. And his teammates gave him a little surprise, horsing around at the media day, putting on some party hats, having a good time. They even presented him with a birthday cake. So, of course, he enjoyed that. And
delicious.
For Jameis Winston, actually we did ask him what one of his favorite gifts was, and he said he couldn't recall a birthday gift, but you can imagine that winning the national championship will be one of the biggest things that he'll have. Of course, Auburn wanting to spoil those hopes, and Jameis talks about Auburn's style of play and how they've embraced the season.
And they believe that they can do anything, and that's one thing that our team believe that we can do anything. And one thing about Auburn, man, when you beat Alabama, they give you a whole different mentality being from that state. And they playing with a chip on their shoulder, and they know they still got a lot to prove. And we know we still got a lot to prove because people saying that we got to face an SEC team.
All right, and Jameis Winston's stats speak for themselves. A completion percentage of 67.9%, almost 4,000 yards, 38 touchdowns, 10 interceptions this season. Now take a look at his resume. That is why his resume looks like this, the Heisman Trophy winner, drawing a lot of comparisons to last year's winner, Johnny Manziel. At Florida State wins. Jameis would be the first freshman quarterback to lead his team to a pinnacle season as that of Oklahoma in 1985. But the question is, can he compete in the SEC?
With our secondary, I don't think he's seen the secondary that he's seen all year. With our secondary, it's completely different from all the other leagues he played in. We're just ready to play.
We in face pretty good receivers all year, and we're gonna go into the game with the game plan that doing what we been doing all year against the pretty good receiver.
And I think the consensus across the board is both teams are going to stick to their game plans. They've been working hard for this, and they just want to get the job done and obviously stick with what's worked all season long.
Yeah, and what's worked for the Auburn Tigers is their middle linebacker, Casanova McKenzie, out of Woodlawn, a Woodlawn alum like Chris Davis. They said they wanted more size in the linebacking core. That's when they brought Cass in. Had a chance to sit down and talk to him about his role in the title game and what they need to do to stop Jameis earlier today. Here with another proud Woodlawn Colonel, Casanova McKenzie. Cass, when you get a chance to look at how this season has played out, how do you feel that you've grown as this 2013 season has gone on?
I feel like, first I'm going to say, coming off from last year being a part-time player and coming this year to being a starter, you got to put in a lot of more work. And, week after week, it's like the works get harder and harder. I had to grow up pretty fast.
Coach Johnson, how has he been for you in that move as you've grown as a football player and as a person?
He's been like another father, Coach Johnson. He's not going to only tell. The thing I like about Coach Johnson, he's not going to only tell you you're wrong. He's going to tell you you're right, so you can keep on doing it. And he probably make you mad at times, and like I said, he's just like a mother. Like he's going to make you mad, and he also going to make you happy. And Coach Johnson just one of those types to me. Like whatever he say, because he's been in business for so long. Whatever he say, I do it. Like, I don't question, I don't talk back to him, nothing like that.
And we've talked so much about Jameis and the Florida State passing game. We just talked to D about getting pressure on him. Do you get kind of jealous, or are you going to be able to try to get after Jameis, or are you mainly doing all the other things the linebacker normally does?
No doubt. Me and Jameis is kind of from the same place. We're real cool. We communicate with each other. And in high school, we played each other twice. He came out with the win twice. can't be a third time. You know, we got to have something to look back on when I can say, well, I got those rings you didn't when you had the opportunity. So it's more, you know, it's going to be pretty personal. You know, off the field, we real cool, we buddies. But on the field, like, he know, like, that it's game time. And, no, I can't let it be a third time.
When you look at film and you see the teams that Florida State is playing, do you feel like athletically you guys are way ahead of everybody that's been on their schedule so far?
Honestly, I feel like we're probably going to be the best defense that they've played. But like I said, this is D1 football. You know, everybody good. You know, they say the best is in the SEC, but that's not true. You know, I'm pretty sure all the football teams they've played, you know, they've been pretty good, but they just, you know, Florida State just got more athletes. Do they have in like certain positions? And, like Florida State just been playing hard to come out on top, and not to forget, like Florida State have a real athletic and good team. So I give all praise to them on that.
We love getting a chance to talk to Casanova. He's come a long way since the Chick-fil-A comment during signing day.
Yeah, signing day. I do remember that. We asked him why he didn't want to go to Clemson, and he said there was no Chick-fil-A on campus. Actually, though, we Googled it and we found out there is a Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, he was just joking around. Folks, when we come back, Jim Dunaway is going to talk to us again about the coordinators, what this season has meant for them as we get a chance to see the moon. It's hovering over the planet, causing the tides to come in and out. We're coming out and coming back here on the Inside College Football BCS special on CBS 42. And welcome back to Inside College Football, special BCS edition, folks. We had a lot of fun in Anaheim, California, out at Disneyland. The players getting a chance to meet the characters, talk to Goofy and Mickey Mouse and all those folks.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, Lauren, it was a lot of fun, but when we finally get a chance to talk actual football, of course, all the events, they have the Beef Bowl out at Disney. There's so much going on, but really get a look at some football coming up on Monday, right?
Yeah, there is some football to be played, and you know, it's funny because these coaches a year ago never envisioned that they'd be at this point. You know, you got a guy like Ellis Johnson coming in and Gus Malzahn rebuilding his whole program, and these guys, you know, it was supposed to be that rebuilding year, and now here they are, front and center, playing for a BCS national championship.
And they get a chance to prepare for each other, longtime competitors, Ellis Johnson and Randy Sanders over the other side for Florida State. Jim Dunaway getting a chance to get out there and see what these coaches have been and where they're going just a few moments ago.
That's right, guys. No doubt a year makes a big difference, especially for the Auburn football team. But how about some coaches in this game? Ellis Johnson was a head coach at Southern Miss last year, didn't win a game, got fired. Now he's in the national championship game. Randy Sanders, the offensive coordinator at Florida State, well, he tells you how much Jameis Winston has meant to his career.
He's done is amazing. You know, you ask his hips, has his life changed? Like I tell you, he's changed mine. You know, last year at this time I was 2-10 and out of a job. You know, so to be here at Florida State in the national championship game is a dream come true for me.
Well, I've been asked that question so many times, and I don't have any connection between the two. It was a very, I want to be very brief with the remarks, but it was a very chaotic situation we walked into. Probably did not do a very good job. At the end of the day, you got to find a way to win ball games. But it's been a wonderful move for my family.
A lot of turnaround and a lot of Cinderella stories in the game Monday night. None bigger than the head coach at Auburn, who was lining off his own high school practice field in Arkansas with diesel fuel just a decade ago, and now he has a chance to raise the crystal football on Monday. Guys?
And thanks, Jim. Gus Malzahn did look back at his high school career today. He always says it. There's so many talented coaches in the high school ranks that have an opportunity to get out there, especially the guys that have the talent to get noticed, and Auburn definitely has talent up front on the defensive line. Right?
Yeah, they do, and you're looking at that, and like you said, Gus Malzahn, he's the kind of guy that, you know, never envisioned that he'd be at this point. And when you look at Auburn's defensive line, they currently rank 10th in the SEC right now in rush defense. They've given up 163.2 yards per game this season. Now, Auburn's defensive line, though, they rotate 8 guys all game long. So they do have depth, no real heavy hitters, but they all equally play tough and physical.
If you look at our football team, we've not had a dominant single player in that area. Our secondary deserves a lot of credit. We've lost some really good players along the way, and we've played without a lot of depth. But up front, we've rotated a lot of players, and I think that's helped us be a better fourth quarter team.
You know, we know that, you know, it's all about competition. You know, it's all about, you know, having a second, you know, I mean, the second string guys come in, you know, having the third string guys come in, and we all know that, and we all feed off of each other, you know, and it really does start for us in practice, you know, because we're competing every single day.
And he talked about it there, the fourth quarter. Auburn has definitely showed stride in the fourth quarter. They've been able to come back, and they've been resilient. And that's the biggest thing a lot of these players said when I said define this team, and they said resilient and persistent.
And we've seen them bounce back. We've seen them have a lot of fun, folks. It's not all just sitting at a podium and being tight-lipped and saying, well, we hope we win. Media Days has fun involved. Chris Womack definitely got a chance to look at that earlier today. Chris?
Well, we already knew some things the Auburn Tigers are good at, like football. They are playing in the BCS National Championship game. But today at Media Days, they had the opportunity to show some other unique talents.
Hey, this man here is also one of the best dancers I know. Jeremy.
They've got freestyle rappers.
Mr. Mincy, Mr. Jonathan Mincy.
Sitting here chilling on Media Day. I'm with my brothers and we want some cake. What you want to do in the championship? Yeah, we want to win. What a championship.
Master impersonators.
I would have to go with Craig Sanders. He's one of those guys that's always trying to horse around. He's always talking in character. He wants to be in wrestling. So
The Rock has come back to Newport Beach. If you smell what The Rock is cooking.
Trey, hey, Mason, hey, what's up, Greg, Robinson, what's up, Nick, hey, Marshall, hey, what's up, CJ Davis,
And the favorite impersonation is that of head coach Gus Malzahn.
Go. Uh-oh, he's going.
A few of the guys are even fashion critics, and they had some words about Gus Malzahn's signature sweater vest.
To be honest, I think it's the most ugliest vest that was ever created.
Early in the year, a few players was like, his wife told him he looked big on the TV, so the vest kind of cover up.
They've got guys that fit right in the Hollywood movie scene.
I say D4. D4, he's really a character.
I'll be a well-balanced actor. You know, I'll be emotional. I'll be funny. I'll be suave. You need me to be.
And of course, even more dancing.
What's up, D? What's up? Yeah. Oh, it's good. Yeah. Hey, what's up?
Now, ever since that Tiger Troop broke it down, we've all had that song stuck in our head, but I'm going to spare everyone our own personal rendition of their performance. But guys, it's like both of you said, the team just seems really, really loose heading into a really, really big game.
Hoorah!
It's going to be stuck in my head.
I know, all day long. But that is the most fun part of Media Days, especially the guys that don't get to get in the limelight much. They don't get to experience this, but these guys all deserve the recognition.
Yeah, we love getting a chance to hear from them. That fist pump from Jonathan Wallace is amazing. Folks, when we come back, we get a chance to talk to Sal Sinceri. His travels around the world of college football. We actually get to hear from him on his son and his injury as well when we come back. Folks, it's the BCS special. You said goodbye to the sun in Birmingham a little while ago. We're just now saying goodbye here at Newport Beach. More as we continue here in California. Welcome back to Inside College Football Special BCS edition. Remember, folks, Auburn won the national championship in Glendale. They put in new turf after the Fiesta Bowl. A similar thing coming in this week. Of course, University of Phoenix Stadium, a little bit different than the Rose Bowl, a little bit different climate-wise. We hope that the field turf will hold up a little better than that slosh fest that slowed down two of the best offenses in all of college football back in 2010. Auburn, of course, winning that game. Welcome back, Patrick Claiborne, Lauren Sisler. We've been out here this week. Lauren just arrived. Hadn't had a chance to see Florida State at practice, but they've been out there. They've been animated, and we heard from Telvin Smith. He seemed pretty excited about their opportunities coming.
He was very excited about it. He had some few choice words, but when you look at the defense, I think that you look at how they approach things, and they're not so much worried about the read option and what Auburn presents there, but a lot of it is going to be that speed, that hurry up. And I know in practice this week they've really been working hard on trying to speed up their game, and I heard them talking about it, that instead of the defense has really been racing to the ball trying to get there. And Telvin Smith kind of talks about the defense and something that he thinks that everybody talks about Auburn's offense and how they're going to run the ball and walk all over them, but he's got something for them.
But at the beginning of the season, Maryland came in. Maryland, everybody said Maryland gonna do it to you. We was going to Clemson, everybody said Clemson gonna do it to you. We was going into Florida, they the worst team in my bad. We going into Florida, they're a team in college football. Florida gonna upset you. We going in the ACC championship. We've been playing great ball all season. Duke gonna upset you. So all season we've been saying that these teams are gonna upset us. These teams are gonna do all this. We've eliminated that. All we've done is went out and play hard-nosed football, and that's what we're gonna do this game right here.
Telvin wants no doubt there. Linebacker Telvin Smith leads the team with 75 tackles, 3 interceptions, and the second most on the team at this point. Now the Seminoles, they have a big 4-man front, but they tend to get overshadowed by the high-powered offense.
They're very athletic up front, and we're going to have to be fundamentally sound and really play our A game up front. And they're very athletic. I think we're athletic also, so it'll be a good thing to really, great opportunity to show, that what we can do.
A lot of athleticism, a lot of physicality from both teams, so I think you're definitely going to see a great key matchup there.
And a key matchup is also coming on the sidelines between these coaching staffs. How about if I told you this, folks? You could just pick from guys that Nick Saban has gone out and recruited and have a football team. Well, you can't do that with the players, but you can do that with the coaching staff. Sal Sunseri, Jeremy Pruitt, guys that have worked on Saban's staff at Florida State now. I had a chance to get out there and talk to Coach Sunseri at Media Day today.
Our Coach Sal Sunseri joining us now here at Media Days 2014 now as you play for another national championship. Coach, how much can you learn from the film from the Alabama game?
Well, I think we learned a whole heck of a lot. You sit there and you see the study because we know what they were trying to do with the concepts, and some of their concepts worked, and then some of their concepts didn't work because the players didn't do what they were supposed to do. So as you're sorting it out, is this the concept that's going to work if this guy does this? We've had tremendous success in practice doing what we want to do.
And Coach, just personally for you, what did this past season, what has it meant to you?
Let me say this. I'm so thankful to be involved with Jimbo Fisher and Florida State because this year has been unbelievable. We've had so much fun as a coaching staff going out there every single week, and it's credit to the kids too. Going out there coaching the kids because they're saying, Coach, coach me. Show us what we need to have success. They bought in. We know what to give them, and it's been an incredible ride.
And when you have a chance to, did you get a chance to watch the Sugar Bowl?
A little bit of it.
When you think about next season, you think about Vinny's recovery, do you talk to him a lot during this process, especially since he's not been for you?
Let me say this to everybody, is that me and my son, and I said this once before, we talk every day. And, when he gets done with his workout, he calls me or I call him. And, he's been unbelievable in this whole thing as far as his recovery and where he's at with his rehab and 2 months ahead of schedule. As a father, I'm saying, hey, pull back. But now I have to have total faith in people that are rehabbing him. He's already starting the job. I mean, it's been 10 weeks. And if you ask anybody that's had ACLs, boom. So, yeah, I'm going to talk to him every single day. I'm going to manage what's going on. But ultimately, he's doing the work, and he knows what his body can do. And I'm really proud of him because, let me tell you, there's been no swelling. None. So my knees are worse than his. They're probably worried about me.
And there we hear from Sal Sunseri. Got to think best luck to Vinny Sunseri, his recovery is going spectacular.
That's right, and even though the national championship is in 2 days, we have plenty of other SEC teams playing around the country. We have the BBVA Compass Bowl, Vanderbilt and Houston going head-to-head. We also have Missouri, South Carolina playing, as well as Texas A&M. So we'll have those games and a recap on that coming up later on Inside College Football.
More to come here on Inside College Football, the BCS special. Check it out. There's another look at the marina in Newport Beach, California. Folks, we'll be right back.
The Ohio State Buckeyes once in the hunt for a national championship game. They landed in the Orange Bowl with Clemson, but then Taj Boyd landed on them. He went off. He went 30 of 39 passing for 371 yards as the Tigers defeated number 7 Ohio State 40-35. And we welcome you back to Inside College Football, our BCS edition. And again, Patrick, this isn't the only bowl game that we're talking about. The BCS National Championship is in 2 days, but we've got plenty of other bowl games to talk about.
No, we had a lot of strangers in a strange land coming to 5 Points South to have the pep rally yesterday. Melissa Kim joining us now from Birmingham, the BBVA Compass Bowl. Another game, another great game at Legion Field. Melissa, hello.
Hey guys, definitely an exciting game. It was a tale of two halves in this year's BBVA Compass Bowl between Vanderbilt, representing the SEC, and Houston from the American Athletic Conference. After the game, Vanderbilt head coach James Franklin actually joked about it, saying they were trying to help TV ratings by making it an exciting game. And oh man, it really was. Well, an exciting start to the game when two parachuters deliver the colors and game ball from the sky. Pretty cool. First quarter, Vanderbilt off to a quick start. Patton Robinette tears it out to Jordan Matthews, gets a good few blocks, and he's off to the races. 50 yards to the house. Commodores up first, 7-0. Now, big half for Vanderbilt's defense, too. Only gave up 22 yards in the first half, forcing the fumble and getting the ball back here. On the ensuing drive, the handoff goes to Robinette. 8 yards for the score. Vanderbilt led 21-0 going into the locker rooms, and a completely different second half, like we said. This time in the third quarter, it was all Houston. John O'Corn launches one to Marquette Amble's excellent foot placement there. Cougars would tie it up 24 at the end of the third. But the fourth quarter would belong to the Commodores, 41-24, the final. After the game, head coach James Franklin commended his guys for building a college football culture.
The thing that's probably most exciting to me is, you know, there's a culture of winning at Vanderbilt, and these guys know how to win. A lot of different ways they do it. Ugly, pretty, people can describe it however they want. They're dubs. Just so proud of everybody and all the accomplishments and all the hard work. It's about these guys. The thing that I noticed the most is when we came out, that tunnel basically that we came out of, I could hear the players all react, and they look to the left, and it is black and gold. I mean, it is black and gold from, I think, from about the 5-yard line all the way to the other 5-yard line. And again, that's a credit to these guys. That's a credit to how hard they play, how they represent themselves, how they interact with people. And I can't tell you how proud that we are of the Commodore Nation coming together to support this team. You know, bowl games are special at Vanderbilt.
Now, there's been a lot of talk this week surrounding Coach Franklin's future at Vanderbilt. Maybe he's going to Penn State. He didn't actually directly address that today. He just ended the post-game press conference saying his plans for the Commodores next year and how excited he was to have so many guys returning to a place where, like we said earlier, guys, he essentially built this college football culture in Nashville.
Yeah, that's right, Melissa. James Franklin could leave right now, and he may have done more for Vanderbilt football than the Vanderbilts themselves. He's done so much for Vandy. We care about Vandy because of James Franklin.
Yes, and James Franklin, a guy that we have seen develop that program, a lot to talk about where he may end up going, and certainly everybody keeping their ears open for that. Now, we talk about the Sugar Bowl, a game that Alabama and Oklahoma went head-to-head, and of course, Alabama got a lot of surprises. It was one of those type of games that they came out. Trevor Knight got the nod as the starting quarterback for Oklahoma, the only quarterback to take any snaps in that game for that matter. There were some highlights for Alabama, though. Derrick Henry, the freshman, he had his first career reception. He took it 63 yards for the touchdown. That put Alabama within a score there at the end of the game in the final minutes. But A.J. McCarron's fumble that led to a Sooner scoop and score. Alabama ultimately suffered their first 2-game skid in 5 years, their last one coming against Utah in the Sugar Bowl in 2009. Here's the players after the game.
A lot of good changes, so I felt like we played good in the second half, just, turnovers and some things that didn't go our way. You got to have some luck sometimes, and we didn't really have that on our side tonight. So.
And we had a chance at the end of the game when it was 38-31, but, turned the ball over again, got beat. That was definitely just a sack. We didn't have a chance on that one.
Todd got to find out who the answer is at quarterback next season. Elsewhere, hey, it's the Big 12 title game. Wait, no, it's the Cotton Bowl, Missouri and Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State threw for 377 yards, but they also had a lot of penalties. And Missouri backup quarterback Matty Mock accounted for 105 yards on a drive, 73 rushing yards, 1 touchdown. Missouri gets a big-time win, 41-31 in the Cotton Bowl.
And we got South Carolina and Wisconsin playing, and it's Connor Shaw's last game, and he had a big performance today. 22 of 25, 312 yards, 3 touchdowns. Shaw also rushed for 47 yards and a touchdown. Badgers, they had 4 turnovers, and South Carolina wins this one 34-24.
Last game for Jadeveon Clowney as well. He's NFL bound. So is this guy, Jonathan Paul Football. He goes by Johnny.
Johnny Football.
No defense in the Chick-fil-A Bowl. 1,200 yards of combined offense in the game. Highest scoring game in Bowl's history. Johnny Football, 30 of 38, 382, ran for 73, 1 touchdown. Aggies win 52-48. Folks, that is the best college football player I've ever had a chance to see live.
And that was an incredible game for sure. I think a lot of people watching the highlight reel over and over. Johnny Manziel does it again.
Yep, and he does. Folks, the Auburn band making the trip out to Pasadena. We saw them earlier today on CBS 42 News at 6. Here's the band making the trip. A guy said they had 30,000 chaperones. I think he's talking about the Tiger fans coming back out. Folks, we've got another look out at the marina at Newport Beach. We're back as the BCS special of Inside College Football continues.
And here is a video of the boxes being in for the BCS National Championship gear in the back of Academy Sports. Fans are getting ready. The Academy Sports line getting ready for hopefully big sales, the winner of that game. And they said that they were going to be opening Monday night, 15 minutes after the game, set to sell lots of merchandise. So we'll see who will be wearing the, I guess, national championship. Will it be Florida State? Will it be Auburn?
And some kids that have a chance to get those shirts, if they're not used, for whoever loses the game, will have that opportunity as well. They don't destroy all of those shirts.
Yes,
folks.
Exactly.
We were able to talk to Jameis Winston today, the Heisman Trophy winner out of Hueytown. He's accomplished so much. He's completed over 70% of his passes for most of the season. He's got a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. There was a lot of question, baseball or football. Well, how about Rashad Green? One of his big-time receivers has over 50 catches. He almost didn't play this season because Jameis almost broke him before it even started.
So I was out for like 2 days, but I was able to make the first game at Pitt, but he definitely dislocated my finger on the ball. But, you know, it's all part of the game. You know, fingers get jammed, broken, dislocated, but, you know, I was able to bounce back.
Yeah, I do remember that, you know, Jamison threw a bullet, you know, and it bounced off short finger real weird, and the bone actually popped out.
I just told him, man, you trying to put me out for the season? And he just saying, man, my bad. And but it was all love. I know he didn't do it on purpose, so I was fine.
And when you look at Auburn and Florida State, they both know how to put up the points. They both know how to put up the yards, but they do them in very different fashions, and that is because of Jameis Winston. You said it there. He's almost at 68% completion, 3,800 yards, 38 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Ellis Johnson talks about defending the Heisman winner.
He's been their leader, even as a redshirt freshman. And the other thing is his mobility. When he doesn't make that throw, his mobility just puts you in a very tough situation when he gets out of the pocket. He can run the ball, and he's got great vision downfield. So I can't answer your question with that one thing.
And so it's difficult for Ellis Johnson to think of one thing. The Auburn Tigers will need to think of some things to try to stop Jameis Winston, and you guys have to think of some things in order to get here.
Just to get here. It was a tough way to go. We were in New Orleans for the Sugar Bowl, had to get here, had to reroute, and of course Chris Womack there with me as well. Auburn fans want to get out here. They want to see the game, but some of them are kind of having to wait in line and see if they can get out here. Chris Womack joins us now with the story. Chris.
Yeah, the road that led me and Lauren to Southern California for the BCS National Championship game wasn't as hard as the one taken by the Auburn Tigers, but it wasn't far off. It included flight changes, gate changes. It even included an airport change. But there's a group of fans who have taken a completely different route by keeping their passion for the Tigers the same, one grueling mile at a time.
The level of difficulty getting to Pasadena depends on the transportation. The RV crowd had it much easier. Earl and Olivia Dansby got here Thursday afternoon all the way from Montgomery.
We Interstate 10 all the way, and some beautiful scenery, some country we'd seen it before, but kind of renewed our recognition of it.
Brian and Cole McLean pulled Saturday morning from Tucson, Arizona.
And we've always said that if we're able to go to an Auburn National Championship game, then we would go, and it's a chance of a lifetime.
But the ease of travel was much different for the Lane family. They flew out of Charlotte easy enough, but nothing was easy after that.
We had a 3-hour layover in Detroit. We got on the plane. We were about to pull away, and everything stopped.
You saw snow, massive amounts of snow, and they were clearing the runway and everything.
It wasn't just the weather that stopped the Lanes.
Then they had a light sensor came on that said the doors were not closed, they could not get compression.
But they made it here just after midnight, and they say this is something they wouldn't miss, no matter the hassle.
We're going to win. It's destiny. We got here. It's destiny. We're going to win. We're going to be back next year too.
And of course, still plenty more Auburn fans either on their way to Pasadena right now or leaving tomorrow or Monday. And of course, we want to wish them all safe travels. I guess, guys, the old saying holds true. Where there's a will, there's a way.
And people want to say Auburn's here because of destiny. Well, I'm a firm believer that we're here because of destiny.
Yes, folks. We're destined to bring you one more look at the BCS National Championship game when we continue here on the BCS Special on Inside College Football. We're back here in Newport Beach, California. You're looking at the moon as it continues its orbit around the planet Earth. The world of college football revolving around us this week as Auburn and Florida State play for the national championship.
That is right. And you know what's a national championship game without a little music? You got to have the band, you got to have the fanfare, you got to have the cheering. We talked to the Auburn band earlier. Natalie Tejeda tells the story of how they got on, I guess, the plane to get ready to come out here. 380 band members out here to Pasadena. It's quite a trip. Natalie.
380 excited Auburn students are making their way to California. A chartered plane waited while they loaded massive amounts of equipment needed to take a band this size on the road. Corey Sperlin has been the band director for 7 years. He's been here before.
I was part of the national championship trip in 2010. It's the best sporting event I've ever been to, and it's a great venue for a marching band to perform, so we're really looking forward to the opportunity. We have 30 staff and chaperones with us for the band. We're just elated. Didn't expect it at the beginning of the season, but feel very fortunate and blessed to be able to take the trip and be a part of this big event.
The idea of playing in the national championship game has this band buzzing.
We're super excited to start our trip out to California. Most of us have never been to California. Some people have never left the state, so it's a big deal. I was here my freshman year for the 2010 national championship, so I'm hoping to have those bookend crystal trophies. Whoa! War Eagle! Hey!
Natalie Tejeda, CBS 42 News.
All right, thanks, Natalie. So the first time for a lot of those folks to come out to California, my first time, this is an exciting experience, and I know that the players are very excited for this game to get underway.
Everybody excited for it. We've got more coverage for you coming up tonight. A 10:15 edition of Inside College Football from Newport Beach, California. We'll have more from Media Days, and we'll hear from fans as well. Folks, they say the moon was created when a Mars-sized planetoid impacted the Earth billions of years ago. That's what scientists say. We've got a collision of cosmic scale coming up on Monday night. Woo! For Lauren Sisler, Chris Romack, I'm Patrick Claybon. We'll see you coming up tonight at 10 o'clock. Good night.
This has been CBS 42's Inside College Football, sponsored by Pepsi.